Welcome back, my loves. If you have been called to connect deeper with the land, with earth, with the animals, with the trees, with nature, this message is for you. I had such a powerful and beautiful experience this morning in the forest. As I was walking deep into the forest, where I walk with my dogs is vast. It is big. You could walk all day if you wanted to. And I walked into a part of the forest that is a little bit further than I normally go, but I have been there before. But I just felt the pull, the call, and I followed the lead of the magnetic pull that led me here. The importance of this message and why this is coming through in this moment and what I'm about to share with you is we are in a time where we are being called to remembrance. If you are being called to connect further with the earth, with animals, it means that you are one of the ones who have been here many times before, and in a time where the earth was not as dense. And so you are necessary. You are very, very important to be in connection on the land, in the earth, connection to Gaia. If you are feeling that pull, if you feel within you and knowing that you have been here in a time where you felt connection, where it wasn't as dense, where you knew unconditional love is a possibility, where you knew connection to all things is a possibility, and you have been searching for that, that is because you have lived in dimensions, in worlds, that has been a reality. That is your soul illuminating to you that is truth. There is that possibility. And that yearning is you knowing that you have felt that, you have experienced that, and it's your heart calling you to come back and embody that sensation of connection, of unconditional love, and to be that as a demonstration for all others to recognize the possibility of how to be in this world. So this morning, as I was walking to this part, and there is a point where I just have to turn around because I could just walk forever. And so as I was walking down this path, which is it's very sort of dense, and I could see a tree that was creating like an arch, and last time I was there, that was not there. And I just knew I just needed to walk underneath that arch. That's all I knew. I needed to walk underneath that arch. And as I walked towards the arch, and as I was underneath it, I could see the colors change. And I stopped. And I knew that I was walking through a portal. And so I stopped and I walked back. And I really stood there. Because if I'm walking through a portal, this requires intention and an open heart to fully receive and also honor the ability to receive these frequencies, remembrance, and codes. So I really took a moment and I stood back and I stopped. And I opened my channel. I opened my heart and I took a moment to ask for permission. I also set an intention of calling forward to step into this energy through this portal with an intention of receiving all that needs to come through. So I stopped, I honored nature, I honored its wisdom by asking for permission to step through. And what I realized in that moment was just the importance, the most important part, let alone the honoring of asking permission and setting an intention, was me coming in with a really open heart and an open channel so I can fully honor the importance of the energy of what I'm about to receive and walk through. That in itself is powerful, because without that intentionality, without the presence, I wouldn't be able to receive all that I did. So I stopped and I just waited. I waited for the time that felt right. It just got a little bit still. The birds were singing in a different way, and I knew that I was ready. I could feel that my heart was open. I could feel like an anchoring in my body. And as I slowly moved through underneath that arch, again, the colors that surrounded just changed. It became more illuminescent, like a pearlescent sort of colors. Like just when I looked around, there was just a slight shift in the actual colors of nature, of the light. And the other aspect that I felt, this visceral sensation of the temperature changing, because this was early in the morning and there was a crisp coolness to the air. As I stepped through this portal, what I noticed is that there was more of a warmth. And so even the temperature around me shifted. And as I walked through, just noticing, really deeply present in my body, really feeling in. And as I took a couple of steps, I was just perfectly in this spot where the sun was just beaming down. And there was so much warmth from the sun rays, in the sense that I had not felt that whole walk. And I just stood there. And I knew, because the sun holds codes. When you truly open your field with an intention of receiving the sun's codes, then it is a different sensation. And so I knew to just stay and open and just receive. And I just felt this warmth that just came through my body. And as I allowed that, I actually got a download and a sort of a reminder and a message to asking of me to share of my connection that I have been doing over the last 2-3 months of connecting to Avalon, over my periods of astral traveling to Avalon, and what I have learned and what I have felt of being on the earth and the land of Avalon. And so I received, and I knew that that was important. And I knew it was time to go. And I slowly walked back underneath the arch. And as I walked underneath this tree arch, I immediately felt the crisp, cool air. Like it just, there was a visceral sensation of feeling not only the energy shift, there was a third eye sensation of seeing the colors change, and there was also a temperature sensation of noticing it went from warm to a crisp air. Which, how magic is that? Like how beautiful, like what a deeply healing experience to even just feel that in your body, feel the energy, the ability to truly connect beyond just this physical body. That is so healing to our heart for those who have had lives and times where they are connected and never separate. And the importance of this message, if you have felt this pull to connect further with the earth, is because we who have walked this world and other dimensions are meant to bring back that wisdom and anchor it here in the now. Because the reason I have been so connected to Avalon is because I have a past life there. A version of me that was a magical light weaver. And she is assisting me in teaching me what she knows. And I am meant to bring that wisdom, which I've already begun in already learning light weaving and bringing that energy work and healing work into the now, but even more so the connection and the energy that Avalon, the healing energy that Avalon has, let alone those who were living there, who hold great wisdom, great gifts, great magic, elemental magic, but I'm meant to share that. Because if I just receive, that is not anchoring it in to the now. That is not anchoring that knowledge into Gaia. Because we're not anchoring that wisdom into the collective consciousness if we do not share. Like, oh, the tingles right now. If we do not share our experience with others, we do not allow our voice to be seen, our truth, our knowing, our visceral felt sensations, what we have experienced, if we do not share that, it is not truly anchored. We do not anchor it until we allow it to be moved and expressed through our throat chakra. If we just hold this knowledge and this wisdom within our body, it never is truly anchored within self and within all, because we are not separate of others. And that is the importance of sharing your wisdom, your own unique knowledge. And this is why you are being pulled into nature, because you have walked lives on this earth that was connected, that actually walked in alignment with this wisdom being shared and known to be true. And you are meant to share that. You are meant to share your unique experiences, what gifts you held in other lives, and you are meant to allow that to be seen and expressed in whichever way that you choose to express, whether that is through your voice, whether that is through song, whether that is through music, whether that is through painting. You are meant to share that so that we can anchor this wisdom and knowledge in Gaia to shift the collective. Whew. The energy is vibrant. It is so important that we hear these calls, that we honor these calls, because sometimes they are so subtle. It would have been so easy for me to not have walked that far, to not have heard that call and stopped just before it. It would have been so easy for me to just ignore and not be present in my body, to not actually see through my third eye the shifts in the colors around me. It would be so easy to not have had that visceral experience of walking through a portal, receiving that information, embedding my body in other energies and frequencies so it can heal this physical vessel. And then also anchoring the wisdom that I was given into this world. That is healing. That is healing to all. To know that just that pull, that magnetic pull, all I knew is I needed to walk underneath that. And it would have been, and it wasn't a loud voice. It wasn't a loud magnetic. It was just a, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And it wasn't until there that I fully appreciated where I was. I fully appreciated that moment. And that is powerful in all these little subtle magnetic pulls just towards something that makes no sense until we're there, is when we begin to see what truly is this world around you is truly subtle sensations that we have just quietened down with disconnection. But this world is healing. We have access. Frequencies have shifted. We have access to more portals. They are awakening as more people do grid work, as more people shift their frequency of just even being in their shifted frequency on their land. That is shifting the grid lines. That is activating portals across the world. And when we access that and we have the felt sense and presence within selves to actually feel that, and enter and receive the information, the downloads that need to happen, which is just a remembrance on a soul level, because you have already walked a life with all that wisdom. All that is here is to awaken within you the truth that you know so deeply, which is why we have felt so alone. And when it is awakened, if you just share that, that is where we are shifting this world, and more and more and more is awakening. And we realize that the shifts is so subtle of the felt sensation within this body that has the antenna and the communicator and the ability to transmute, amplify energy and receive that's when your world changes. And that is when the world changes, when you change. So if you have felt that, just know that is because a past life is calling you. It is calling you to connect. Is that to connect with a time of Avalon? Is it to connect to Atlantis, Lemuria? Is it to connect to the unseen realms where the elemental beings of the fae, of the fairies, unicorns dwell within? It is all here. It is just beyond the vision of the 3D world and is beyond that. But it is all here. Have you lived that lifetime? Do you feel this just knowing that you are a different being? If you have lived a lifetime there, that wisdom is waiting to burst out and to unlock within you. Like it's just wanting to, like a little light explosion within your cells, the remembrance of you. Because you hold that wisdom within you. You don't even fully have to channel beings who live there. It is just that you actually have that wisdom, and all that they are here, all these multidimensional beings, all these other, our guides, our higher selves, it's just to remember what we hold within us, our wisdom. And so, my love, if you have felt the pull, you felt the pull to connect with certain things, if it is with plants, then that is probably that you have lived a life in an elemental time where there was fairies. Maybe you were a fairy, where you were connected with the plants, you saw the energy of the communication that happens between all living plants. Maybe that is why you're being pulled deeper within, is because it is wanting to awaken within you. Feel when you are there of what you're pulling towards. Feel into the felt sensations of just the little pull of where is you being pulled? What is being asked of you? What do you feel in your body? Allow it to be really subtle and just notice. And that is when magic begins to happen. Because all it's waiting on is our presence. You are so important. You are so valued. You are so special. If you're here receiving this, you have lived many lifetimes. You hold deep wisdom. If you did not, you would not be receiving this. You would not be here. You would not feel resonance of that feeling, of that deep desire to feel a world that is just connected, that is unconditional love. That is because you are here to bring that into the now. And I will share more of Avalon, because that is magic, but that is a whole nother video, a whole nother deep dive. So share with me, where are you feeling pulled to? Where do you feel in resonance of lifetimes that you have lived? Don't allow the mind to come in. Just feel that knowing. I've lived so many places, so many lives. Know that to be true, because your soul is eternal. And so I know that you have been so many beautiful places. Maybe you have been such a powerful being. I want to hear all your wisdom, because that is where we share, and that is where we support each other in this collective, in this healing, in this awakening, remembering, shifting into this new earth. So let this land in your body. Share your magic with the world. Allow it to be heard so it can truly be anchored into the now. So we can know to be true that this world is truly magic, and so are you. And I send you so much love.